All right, I realize this is a kind of odd way to communicate, but I have a lot to say, and I figured if emails or long ones aren't good, they're easy to misinterpret or misunderstand or read the wrong thing into what someone is saying. So I figured hearing my voice would make it a lot easier to go through all these things I want to talk about. But I just want to make sure that me and you are on the same page going forward into this season in the fall, because I definitely I feel like unity is one of the most important things among the parents and the coaches, that we're not going to make everybody happy, but as long as the two of us are on the same page moving forward, that's what's going to matter, is to make sure that we don't have to agree on everything, but we have to agree to at least teach the same things and do things the same way, and try not to undercut each other. So if I ever say anything or do anything with the girls that you would disagree with or that you think we should do differently, feel free to pull me aside during practice if there's a time we can do that, or just after practice, shoot me a text message or something. I'm really open to changing the way I do things and learning and trying to be better. So I definitely don't pretend to know everything about ball, but I played a long time and my dad coached a lot, and I feel like I got a lot of good things out of what he taught me. So anyway, unity is very important to me. So if you ever feel like we're not on the same page, it's your responsibility and my responsibility to make sure we take it right to the other person and talk things through if we feel like we need to do things a different way. I am probably going to over-communicate as we go into the season and all the way through the season. I feel like a lack of communication causes a lot of problems, and I don't want to fail on anything for lack of communicating. So don't take my massive amount of communication, including this message, to mean that I'm trying to control anything or push anything forward. But I just want to make sure that we're ahead of the game on every turn. And if you feel like I'm ever missing something, please speak up and let me know if I need to look at things a different way. I figure going into the fall, we'll probably want to come in with 12 players if possible. That's going to put the cost at about $40 each, and if they each paid $40, that'd leave us with $30 left over to buy, I don't know, equipment or whatever we need to get for $30. So that would be the way I'd want to go, is 12 players, $40 each. It would be to be paid by August 1st. If you want to handle it, that's fine with me. If you're okay with it, I would be fine with me putting up the $450 for the team and everybody just writing checks to me or paying me with cash or whatever they want to do. It's no big deal. I even have a way I can take credit cards from people if that's something that they need to do. So if you're okay with me handling it, I could sign us up as a team and be willing to take care of the payment stuff. Sponsor, you do know I mentioned that we might have a sponsor. He's not going to want to name the team or anything, so that's fine. I figured maybe we'd just let like Heaven and Jersey and Gianna get together, and I'd give them a list of some really awesome names I found online. It's like, I don't know, 150 choices, and just let the three of them talk about it and see if they could come up with something that they could get excited about. And I figured if the three of them are excited about it, they get everybody else on board that wants to play. I figured we could get shirts. The Hammers team, T-ball team, has some really nice shirts, I think, and they're only $10 a piece to do them the way he did them through his guy. If you know somebody else that does shirts, I'd be more than happy to look at using somebody else. But his guy did a good job, and for $10 a piece, you really can't beat a decent ball shirt. We already talked tonight briefly. I think that going with pants this fall would definitely be preferred. And so the girls would need to get their own pants probably. Unless we ended up with plenty of sponsor money or something like that, then we could pick up pants, but we'll have to see how that goes, I guess. The other thing I wanted to talk about was coaches and some, basic practice principles and stuff that I wanted to see what you thought about. I think this is kind of the direction you'd be thinking as well, so it's not going to be that big of a deal, but again, I just want to make sure that nothing's left unsaid and that we're just assuming stuff, so we want to be on the same page. Coaches, I know myself and you want to be involved. I don't know if David is going to be involved or not. I didn't ask him about it tonight, but you said he may or may not be. If he is, that's fantastic. My sister, Jennifer, definitely wants to be involved. She pitched all the way from whatever, 7 years old up until college, so she definitely would do a good job working with pitchers, and she could look up anything that she didn't already know. She'd have to do some studying on it. But I also thought if Taylor plays with us, that would be awesome. I'd love to have, I think that's her sister, Morgan. And if that's the case, would love to have Morgan involved. The girls really respect her and look up to her. And we could really use Morgan for a lot of awesome things, I think. And she was definitely underutilized here in the summer. But even if it's not a lot of teaching and stuff, the girls really look to her as an example for the most part. And I think that we could use her if she were interested in helping coach. But that's who I'd be looking at coaching. And if you know somebody else that's interested, by all means, like, we're not going to push anyone away. I'd love to have parents involved at practice, even if they weren't coaching in the games, a lot like Brian had this year, where we had some people showing up at practice and helping that didn't actually get on the field and coach. But the more the merrier. The more adults we have out there, the better. We just need to communicate with them up front so they know exactly what we expect of them, exactly what we want them to do every practice, so that they don't feel like they're being left out or looked over, and that they're out there for no reason. So I'm going to over-communicate everything to people that want to be involved for sure. The way I'm thinking, I would love to see things work is I would love to have some people break down into specialties. I mean, it's impossible to have one person. In the Summers case, Brian, there's no way he could coach the catcher, the pitcher, the batters, the runners, the fielders, the outfield. Like, there's no way one person could coach all of those things and hit everything all of the time and make sure that we were on in every aspect. So what I'd really love to do, and I'm not trying to pigeonhole you into this, but I think you're really great with hitters. And if you wanted to take that, if you wanted to take on that specific responsibility, I'm not saying that's all you need to do or all you can do, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I just want to communicate again. I think it would be awesome if you just accepted the responsibility of making sure that throughout every week you had a hitting drill that the girls were going to rotate through, and then as we were running practice scrimmages or whatever, like you could focus on the hitters, making sure that they're doing the right thing, standing in the right place, holding the bat, swinging, making sure they have the right bat for them, that they're not picking up bats that are too heavy or too light, and that just to work with the batters and make them a major focus of what you're doing. I think it'd be awesome if Taylor's sister Morgan were to participate. We could set her up with the base runners. Like, our team is so far behind this summer on base running the way everybody else was base running. So I think that it would be awesome to have her focused on base running. She could have a couple of drills set up every week that we could rotate the girls through, including sliding and stealing and things like that, making sure that we get our few steps. We should be stepping off the base every single pitch, even when we're not stealing, at least 3 or 4 steps, and seeing what happens. We need to teach the girls how to base run when there's a pop-up, how to base run when there's a double play, how to base run when there's a throw coming over your shoulder. Just teach them all about base running, and if we had her focus on that, the rest of us wouldn't have to worry about it at all. She would handle it. She would knock it out of the park. If we had somebody like my sister, sorry, I'm hot in this room and I'm sweating, but if we had somebody like my sister just focused on pitchers, to work with them, have drills for them set up, teach them how to do some drills at home, work with them during practice, work with them and just even during the scrimmages and stuff like that, work with them, talk to them about their responsibilities for covering first, for covering home, and doing things like that, but to work specifically with the pitchers. Not that this is like anything that each person can only do their job, but to have a focus so that they come prepared every week with a drill to run the girls through for the first half of practice, and then maybe the second half of practice try to do a scrimmage every week so they get some live pitching and some live fielding and some live base running so that they can use what they learn in the drills right there in practice. So let me know what you think about that. I think it'd be great. It'd be awesome if we had somebody that wanted to work dedicated with catchers. The catcher is such an integral part of the game. They need to be taught how to catch a pop-up behind the plate off the bat. They need to be taught how to throw down to second, how to step up, throw down to third, how to cover the plate, how to tag a runner out, how to be in position, how to call a game. Like, there's a lot of things a catcher can learn, and it would be awesome to have somebody dedicated to them. Then we're also going to have to have, I'll be paying attention to and have to make sure that the girls in the field, like game situations, are going to be key. We need to teach the basics of fielding and throwing, and I want to make sure we get all of that down. We're going to have to work on the basics, but I just want to make sure that we have people focused on the things that need to be done, slipping through the cracks, and then we get to game time time and we're like, oh, we never taught him to stand in the back of the box. Oh, we never taught him to take 3 steps off the base. Oh, we never taught him what to do if it's a pop-up. Oh, we never, and it's just really frustrating because there's no way Brian could do all that, but he also never delegated or let anybody else have that responsibility. So let me know what you think. If there's a certain aspect of the game that you're absolutely in love with and it's not hitting, that's fine. But just let me know what you think, and I'd be more than happy to work through some ideas with you, and I look forward to getting some feedback from you via email.